What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming to you guys with a deck that I legitimately did not think I was going to build, and I forgot that I had a build for it. And then I got laughed at because I was told don't build it because it was bad. And then it started doing really good. And then Numemon, which was another deck that I was going to build from the same situation, was laughed at. And then it got good. Now, I am just going to state this now. I only built this because I have nothing else currently ready to be built because I'm still waiting for BT16 and EX6 to come out. So we're getting filler art things here. So we have Etemon, Sukamon, and Chumon deck. And this is not to be confused with the Numemon variation, which has its own builds and stuff. And unless someone wants to, cash me out some Death X's and some Shining Greymon Rumors, this is as far as we're getting with this. So I hope you enjoy it, because I had to at least enjoy trying to build it. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through it, and I'll go through the explanations of things and stuff after. So starting off are the Digitama. There are 4 copies of Vaporeon. Then from Vaporeon, we're going to go into the Digitamas themselves. So for the rookie lineup, we have 4 copies of Chumon from BT11. We have 4 more copies of Chumon from EX5. Then we have Chumon from BT14. So that's it for the rookies. For the champions, we have 4 copies of Targetmon from EX5. Then we have 4 copies of Sukamon from BT11. Then we have 4 copies of Sukamon from BT14. And last but not least are King Sukamon. Oh, I'm sorry, that begins my ultimates. Oh, well, there's your champions right there. So Sukamon, and Targetmon. Then for the ultimates, now we have 2 copies of King Sukamon, followed by 4 copies of Etemon. This King Sukamon is from BT11, this Etemon is from BT14, and this Etemon is from EX5. Which, hold on, give me 1 second. Bam, there we go. And then, last but not least, are the Megas, and I'm rocking 3 copies of BT11's Metal Etemon and BT13's King Etemon. Then for the Tamers are just a set of TK from BT1. And then for the options, 4 copies of Sukamon's Curse from BT14 and 4 copies of promo card Physical Training. So yeah, that is basically it for the deck itself. That's 50 in the main with the 4 Digitama. So starting off with the first Digitama, because this is not the proper Digitama people are running. I think they're running the Sunamon and the the Tokomon, which I don't have either. So I initially was going to build a machine deck, and I was like, oh, I don't have a I had Missilmon, but I was like, oh, I guess I'll get the other one too. And I was like, oh, look, Vaporeon, because he has blocker. And then the other Vaporeon that I wanted to get, that's really expensive. So I decided just to back out for this one because it gets blocker. And blocker can be very beneficial. There are some Digimon that already have blocker with them, so that even helps out there too. This is actually supposed to be the one I use for Numemon, because almost every card in Numemon's lineup gives blocker. So yeah, that was the whole consent of why it's Vaporeon here. So that is the thing. Alright, moving on from Vaporeon, we're going to go into the actual Digitama. First off is Chumon from BT11. So this Chumon's ability is that when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Sukamon, you can reduce the cost by 1. And then during its, while it's part of the Digivolution sources, On deletion, if the Digimon has Etemon or Sukamon in its name, you can play one Chumon from your trash without paying, suspend it without paying memory cost. So you get to drop one of the other Chumon that are in the deck into it for a freebie on deletion, but you also get the ability to play around with just a free Digivolution into the Sukamon off of the bat. Speaking of, let's go into the next Chumon. This is the Chumon from BT14. On play, you may check the top card of your security stack. Then you may place one Digimon with Sukamon in its name from your hand on top of your security stack. So you use that with the Sukamon that can come out from the security battle. Its inheritable is on deletion. You may give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 3 KDP, which is just, it's small, but considering what the battle steps are for most of Digimon in this deck, the little bit of reduction will definitely help out. The last is of the rookies is this Chumon. This is from BT. This is from EX5. On play, if your opponent has during your opponent's turn, you reveal the top three. If it's your opponent's turn, you reveal top three cards of your deck, and you may play one Sukamon from it among those cards without paying them cost, and then send the rest to the trash. If Digimon is deleted, has Sukamon or Etemon in its name, you can play one Chumon from your trash suspended without playing them cost. So you can play copies of itself, you can play copies of the other Chumon. Basically, this is just to help Chumons get onto the field without having to do so much to get them. Because funny enough, outside of the Chumon from BT14, all the other Chumon, outside of maybe the Floodgate Chumon, have a pay cost of 1. So the easy drop floodgates from these can definitely be used for the on deletion effects that come within deck. So you can thin out the deck and then help suffice what the board can be. Alright, so that is Chumon. We're going to move these Chews out the way. Because funny enough, Chew in Japanese is a reference to mouse, as Chew is the, quote, phonetic sound that they use. Kind of similar to how Pikachu is named Chew. Next up are the champions. So we have Targetmon. So Targetmon is blocker. On deletion, trash one card with Etemon or Sukamon in its name from your hand to return this card to your hand. While inheritable, all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you may delete one other Sukamon, one other card with Sukamon in its name to prevent its deletion. This card is also treated as Etemon and Sukamon. So if you have cards that focus on Etemon or Sukamon, this card itself will technically count as it and be used for those abilities. It's a funny little gimmick though, because it's basically just a fake Etemon overall, and then the artwork of it has it coming out of a Chumon. So yeah, it was a pretty good, decent rookie. Champion if all out fails. Then you have Sukamon, who on deletion can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck to add one card with Chumon, Sukamon, or Etemon in its name among them to the hand. Then you trash the rest. During an inheritable, during all turns, Digimon would be deleted. You may delete one of your other Digimon with Sukamon in its name to prevent its deletion. So you can basically swap the deletion onto another card to trigger their deletion effect, and then gain the abilities of them for their on their deletion effects. So a lot of redirecting. The next one up is the security play Sukamon. At the end of the security battle, you play this card without paying its memory cost. On deletion, when your opponent's Digimon gains minus 3 KDP. So this is a basic Sukamon. Nothing more, nothing less. But it's an easy floater overall. So that is it for the for the champions. Now we get on to the ultimates. We have the 2 copies of the King Sukamon. You play this top of 8 card with Sukamon in its name on play or when digivolving. If your opponent has 16 cards or more in their trash, or if you have 3 or more cards with Sukamon in their name in your trash, you may change one of your opponent's Digimon into a white Digimon with 3 KDP in the original name of Sukamon to the end of your opponent's turn. When attacking for each other Digimon with Sukamon in its name, this card will gain security attack +1. So not only forcing your opponent to have a Sukamon, which is going to disrupt their turn and abilities, you're going to be able to swing for more than one check with additional check, thanks to the fact that it's going to have Sukamon in its name. So you get to play around with some removal and some setup with that as well. And just like the other cards that came before it, it has the ability to delete a card with Sukamon in its name to prevent itself from being deleted. That's actually the inheritable. from this Sukamon. The next one up is Etemon. This is BT14's Etemon. So you digivolve this on top of a card with Sukamon in its name for a cost of 3 instead of 4. Security. If there are 3 or more cards with Sukamon in its name in your trash, you may reveal one level 6 Digimon card with Etemon in its name in your hand and play it without paying the memory cost. On deletion, play this card on the bottom of your security stack. And then its on deletion effect is place one Etemon from your trash to the bottom or top of the security stack. That way you can just easily play off with the ability that this card has in the security. Also, just maintain any other body to set for your security or recover your security. So it's a pretty decent Etemon. And a really good resourceful one too, just for security purposes. The next one up is the Etemon from EX5. So this Etemon, who's rocking out with both Volcanomon and Shoutmon, can Digivolve on top of a Sukamon for 3 on play when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your opponent's Digimon gains minus 3k DP and gains at the start of this turn must attack. So it's a forcer to attack while having 3k or less DP already going into it. Then, it's incredible. It's on your opponent's turn. Once a turn, when your opponent Digimon would declare an attack, and reveal type the cards of your deck. Emulate one black or yellow Digimon card with a pay cost of 3 or less among them from there without paying the memory cost, and then you trash the rest. So this will probably set up for the Chumon if you need to play them and trigger their arm play abilities just to circulate things and cards there. Pretty decent setup for the deck with all these searchers and all these trash memory setters. So that is it for the ultimates, and now we're going into the megas. Now, despite the fact that I don't have 3 of these, I have 3 of these and not multiples of the King Etemon. Metal Etemon is here to just at least fill in some gaps for that. One player, when Digivolving, reveal top 4 cards of your deck to play any number of Digimon with Chu, Suka, or Etemon in their name without playing a memory cost up to 7 or less among them, and then trash the rest. So basically, you could probably cover your Chus, your Sukas, and your Eddies without having to play through so much of it on your own. It's a really decent just setup card out of anything, just to survive the deck's stability. But then we got the big boy himself. We got King Etemon. So this card can digivolve on top of a card with Sukamon or Etemon in its name for a cost of 4. All turns. Once a turn, when another Digimon with Etemon or Sukamon in their name would be deleted, one of your opponent's Digimon gains minus 3k DP and gains security attack minus 1 until the end of the turn. During your opponent's turn, that all your Digimon with Etemon and Sukamon will gain blocker and cannot return to the hand or deck. So it's a definite card you should run multiples of. Unfortunately, I just only have one of the King Etemon. But stopping cards from being bounced back or returned to the deck, while also giving all your Digimon with the particular name blocker, so it helps out with battle strategies. And on top of that, being able to digivolve and give security attack minus 1 in 3k DP, which stops a lot of the rushes, it stops a lot of the spam decks, and overall gives a good compliment to a lot of the lineup of things that the Etemon, Sukamon, and Chumon staff do need, which is heavy defense while also giving that in the form of a big Digimon to survive the board, but also have the ability to just map out everything that is needed for that board. So not too bad there, is it? Alright, we're going to move on from the Digimon. Let's talk about all of the rest of the stuff in the deck. Just give me just 1 second, because I forget. There's so many different cards in here. Alright, so next up is the only trainer in the deck, and that's TK, who is here to check the security, to give you a yellow card and add it to your hand. This TK did recovery plus 1 and shuffle, so pretty decent. Also the fact that there's no official trainer for Etemon, so at least with TK you'll have the bump to memory for 3 at the side of your turn, so that helps you out with not only controlling your security but also helping you out with a memory starter out back. Then we're going to go on to the option cards. We have the physical training to help us thin out the deck and set up for the plays needed for um, going into a lot of the other Digimon. Kind of better to do the yellow memory boost, although I was considering putting yellow memory. Just to be some resources to it. And then the last one up is Sukamon. It's Suka's Curse. So on main, you may play one of your non-white Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Sukamon in its name from your hand without paying any cost, ignoring its distribution requirements. The other is that until the security effect is until the end of your turn, change one of your opponent's Digimon into a white card having 3k DP and its original name becoming Sukamon. So it's basically a gimmick card that, ironically enough, turns things around. And being able to turn off a Digimon's name would also, to turn off some of its abilities and stuff as well. Just because that would shut down things that say, specifically, this card does this, and this. So, yeah, Suka's Curse definitely becomes resourceful in that sense, while also just pairing up well with the lineup of cards for Suka and Ede and Chu. So, yeah, that is pretty much it, you guys, for my Etemon, Chumon, and Sukamon deck profile. While this is something that I will just officially say it's not going to be a recurring deck, at least glad to know that I can at least get it out of the way. And I didn't have really too much trouble in it, but you can already see and tell. Excuse me. What cards you do need for the deck if you're planning on building it, and you can always just look online to see what builds will help you build this deck itself. So, with that said, thanks everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I do upload more content to my channel. My social media links are in the description box below. And with that said and done, thanks everyone for watching. HBJ signing out.